It is the News Blitz with Randy Wang on Talk Radio 790 KABC. We're here every single day from 5 to 6 talking about the local issues that matter to you most. Taking your phone calls at 800-222-5222, 1-800-222-5222. You can email us at randywangradio@gmail.com. That's randywangradio@gmail.com. You can give me a follow on all the socials, including YouTube at Randy Wang Radio, and search for the KABC News Blitz wherever you get your podcasts. We try to do our best to highlight every single local candidate that is running for office in, and yes, obviously, the city of Los Angeles. But as we get closer to the June primary, we're here to talk to the candidates in those smaller 88 cities in LA County that don't get enough attention, Orange County that doesn't get enough attention. We want to talk to people that want to change the way the government is run. Now, obviously, Los Angeles is the most damaged and the most corrupt and needs the most work, so we focus a lot on the city of Los Angeles. Believe you me, if this show was 100% dedicated to what was going on in Burbank, I'd have about 5 minutes of content every day. Not a lot happens in Burbank, except the traffic's getting worse. But the city of Los Angeles has a lot of problems, and it is time to judge if we're going to give some of those members of the city council and the mayor another 4 years, another term. Obviously, Karen Bass is on the ballot, but you know who else is on the ballot? In Council District 1, Eunisses Hernandez is seeking re-election.
Quite frankly,
this Eunisses Hernandez.
Because we are the defund the police people, right?
This Eunisses Hernandez.
You know, you can't get well in a cell.
This Eunisses Hernandez.
Are we going to get it?
And since she is asking the voters for another chance, I would sure love to talk to her on this show, but it is important that we find out who is running against her, who is offering an alternative vision for Council District 1 in Los Angeles. That is the Highland Park area. That is the MacArthur Park area, parts of downtown. And we're going to speak to as many candidates as we can for in this race. The first one we're going to talk to, he is running for LA City Council in District 1. He'll be on the ballot in the June primary. Raul Claros, welcome to the News Blitz.
Good evening. Thanks for having me.
And of course, you can check out his website and everything he stands for at raulclaros.com, Claros. All right, so let's go ahead. Introduce yourself to the audience. Tell us who you are and why you decided to run for office.
Thank you. My name is Raul Claros, and again, you can find my platform, my vision and mission for the district at raulclaros.com. I'm a former executive director to the American Red Cross. I'm a proud girl dad of a 10-year-old little girl named Valentina, who I'm raising in Chinatown, which is in the same district that I was born and raised in, Council District 1. I come from the most vulnerable portion of Council District 1, Pico Union and Westlake. And that's where we find what's now considered Skid Row West, MacArthur Park, where I've made a commitment to live and work out of a trailer in my first 100 days in office and stay there until we clear out and clean up MacArthur Park and the surrounding Westlake area.
Now, that is how I first heard about your campaign, because it takes a lot to get people's attention in Los Angeles. And while some people might call that a stunt, you need to do something that big to just get people to pay attention to a local city council race in Los Angeles, where the average voter doesn't really pay attention and the average person usually doesn't vote in small local elections. So let's start with that. MacArthur Park has been a disaster for decades. This is not news. What is new is a year ago, Eunisses Hernandez and Karen Bass held a big press conference saying that they were going to be investing millions of dollars, some of it city funds, some of it county funds, some of it nonprofit funds, to clean up the park, to bring services to the people living in the park. How would you judge those efforts?
I think they've had a reverse effect. I think it's enabled the current culture there, which is creating Skid Row West, as many people have called MacArthur Park. It's enabled folks to leave Skid Row, find themselves at a park, They find shower, food, pipes, and needles given with taxpayer dollars. It hasn't worked. My opponent says meet them where they're at. I agree with meet them where they're at, but you got to meet them where they're at, pull them up, and pull them out. And so the harm reduction model works inside of a controlled venue, maybe like the old St. Vincent Medical Center, which I would work on repopulating and repurposing. But the park cannot be a de facto open-air drug market, and it also can't be a de facto hospital. That's the front and backyard of our youth and families.
And it's funny because Eunisses will be the first person to talk about that. That is the only green space for so many families in one of the densest, to use the way she says it, neighborhoods in the entire city of Los Angeles. But I can't imagine anyone feels safe bringing their children to that park at any time of day.
Well, again, having a 10-year-old little girl, I don't feel comfortable taking my little girl there, but she has to be there because her dad represents that area. I'm a proud product of Pico Union Westlake. We've never had a representative that's worked and walked those streets, that has gone to those schools. And it's evident with this council member that she really doesn't care. She is catering all of our resources to a small percentage of our community that's not even from our area. Our youth and our families from the local Westlake area are being held hostage inside of their apartments. And to be clear, we're talking about 2 to 3 families inside of one apartment. And there are no houses in the area because it's just the most heavily dense area of population in the city of Los Angeles.
And you mentioned it when you were talking about the state of MacArthur Park, but one of the most notorious programs that the county has funded in Skid Row proper, that Eunisses Hernandez has funded in MacArthur Park in her cleanup of MacArthur Park, is a nonprofit called Homeless Healthcare Los Angeles, where they get to ride around in little golf carts or ATVs and pass out drug paraphernalia as some kind of form of harm reduction. It seems to me that you're not on board with that program.
No, we have to do the exact opposite. We need to make sure that we redirect our discretionary funds. We need to, and that's why I'm going to live in the park and work out of the park. Every general manager that needs my vote for something is going to have to chip in to make sure that they're part of the solution of MacArthur Park. We need to make sure that we have the officers that are needed. And if that takes for me to sleep and work there around the clock and have the proper staff in all of the departments, that's what a real triage is when we're talking about a crisis and an emergency. I've done it for the Red Cross, and I'm ready to do it for the city of Los Angeles.
Well, and what's so interesting about that is sometimes the quickest cure to an intractable problem is attention and its eyeballs. You look at what happened at the MacArthur Park Westlake Metro Station a couple of years ago, where it was known that it was an open-air drug den. It was known that it was the busiest yet also most unsafe stop for that train. And you had news cameras from Channel 2 and Channel 9 film what was going on down there. And almost overnight, Metro they admitted it was a problem, and they completely changed course. They started flashing out bright lights. They started playing loud music. They started adding security, controlling the entrances and exits because it was so embarrassing for them. If you do have a field office in MacArthur Park and people are subject to, because believe you me, that's going to not just be a local story, that's going to be a national story, but people see with their own eyes what it is like there every single day, something's going to change, and the city is going to move mountains to do it, because what's going on right there and what has been going on in that park for a very long time, but especially this last year, is nothing but a complete and utter embarrassment.
Well, that's the original intention was to make sure that we don't normalize this. Folks in our city are becoming numb to the walking zombies, as the kids call it, right? To the fentanyl fold. And so this is not normal. It's unacceptable. This is why I'm proud of the work that I'm already doing with our district attorney, Nathan Hockman. I serve on the advisory board on homelessness, and we're starting to work on the crime elements that are happening in and around these encampments. We're talking about human trafficking, sex trafficking, drug trafficking. The county's job is to get people housed and the wraparound service. The city of Los Angeles, just like the other 88 cities in the county, is public safety and public works, and we're just not getting our tax-paying services. All of our services, we're talking about $27 million in 3 years, and this is what we have to show for it? This is what the council member has to show for it? This is unacceptable. It's insubordination and incompetence happening at the same time.
Now, there's a few questions I'm going to have to ask you just to get a clarification on your stance as opposed to your opponent, the incumbent Eunisses Hernandez. So I have to go back to the budget discussions of 2025 for this one. But we were facing a big budget deficit where Karen Bass announced that there were going to be a lot of layoffs. The city council said we made it so there's going to be fewer layoffs, and then magically there were no layoffs. But in those budget discussions, Eunisses Hernandez had a pretty candid discussion with LAPD Chief Jim McDonnell that she thinks one way to save money on the LAPD budget is to stop buying helicopters for the LAPD. What's your stance on that?
I think we need to stop investing $27 million in crack pipes and needles. And I think that we need to build up our police department back to a healthy number. The ideal number is always 10,000 officers. We're far from that. I understand that we've had to have emergency votes in order to just get $1.8 million recently to continue to hire another set of officers. And I just think that the wasteful spending and the corrupt use of the monies that have been sent to us by the federal and state government has us here. And I think that that's why we've had the debacle of LASA. And now it's time to hold folks accountable. And accountability can only happen through transparency. And that's why I'm being straightforward from the beginning. We're going to go in there and we're going to make sure that CD1 is safe and clean. Whether you're Republican, Democrat, or Independent, that's all you want. If you live in LA, you want to come home from work and you want to be able to find parking and make sure that you're in a safe and clean neighborhood.
We're speaking to Raul Claros. He's running for LA City Council District 1. The incumbent for that seat is Eunisses Hernandez. Now, speaking of LAPD staffing, because this has been a huge problem, and we're seeing staffing levels at LAPD lower than we've seen in 30 years. And there have been emergency votes to increase academy classes, increase bonuses, because this is a statewide problem where we're seeing staffing shortages up and down the state of California. And Karen Bass has pointed this out, that you can graduate from an LAPD Academy class and then immediately transfer to the Alameda Police Department up in the Bay Area, and they're offering us $85,000 signing bonus. How do we, I know money can go pretty far, but how do we attract more talent? How do we attract more police officers to want to choose this department as opposed to a smaller, safer city?
You work on the morale. And right now, the morale is down on our officers in Council District 1, especially in the Northeast Division, where they have to work with 4 socialists, 4 self-proclaimed abolitionists that don't even believe the police department should exist. Listen, we're in the United States of America. We're in Los Angeles, California. The reality is that we need a police department. We're getting ready for serious times when we're talking about the World Cup, the Olympics, and maybe a couple of more World Series and NBA finals to come, right? And so we need to take this serious. We don't have times for these shenanigans and these social experiments. Right now, New York is going to get ready to feel what we've been recovering from now. It's a 5-year hangover from 2020. And so we're ready to rebuild, recover, and regroup in Los Angeles. And it starts off with this race in CD1.
Now, of course, another massive issue outside of public safety, MacArthur Park, homelessness would be that it is, and everyone will admit this, it is so expensive to live and work in the city of Los Angeles, even in CD1, which is more of a working class community. It is so expensive to live here. And you hear the city council, you even hear the legislature talk about they're going to tackle affordability without any real plans to do so. So you get in there, you're one of 15 in the LA City Council. What is your plan to make it more affordable to live here?
Overhaul DWP. People got to feel the relief on a monthly basis. I don't know about you, but I love when I get the gas bill. It's usually the lowest bill that I get on a monthly basis. But that DWP bill, no one can ever figure it out. There's a lot of corruption that's going on, and we need a complete overhaul. We need to stop taxing our residents the first moment that we get to, from trash to other services. We need to preserve our businesses. We lost Papa Cristo. We lost Pacific Dining Cart. We're on the verge of losing Langers. These are the backbones, right? These historical legacy businesses are not only our employment, but it's our entertainment, it's our gastronomy. It's what brings people to our neighborhoods. 22 neighborhoods in Council District 1. Every voice is going to be my priority in every neighborhood in Council District 1.
Yeah, if we can really revitalize and show the businesses that we're able to keep those places safe and that the city has their back and isn't going to punish them for wanting to just operate and serve customers, that can be a huge influx. That can be a huge game changer.
Absolutely. I mean, really, LA doesn't need the Olympics for tourism. You know what I'm saying? We're LA, and we need to start acting like it. We need to start branding it. We need to reintroduce ourselves. We're part of the fourth largest economy in the world. We need to start behaving and governing that way as well.
We're speaking to Raul Claros. He is running for LA City Council District 1. That is Eunisses Hernandez's seat. Now, the last time that this seat was up was in 2022, and the turnout was very low in that election, and Eunisses Hernandez ended up winning outright in the primary against then-incumbent Gil Cedillo. What is the plan that you have to really drive out turnout in a race that does not get nearly enough attention that it should?
Well, first of all, I was the first one to run against her, so creating an opposition was number one. And that was after 15 months of trying to work with the new council member on some specific, tangible, concrete plans that she just gaslighted us for 15 months. And so now there's 8 of us running, so there's a field. And so I'm hoping that along with myself, at least 2 of my other fellow candidates will qualify for matching funds. That will make sure that $500,000 is going against the incumbent. And I think that that's where special things are going to happen, because you put the math and the science together, there has to be a runoff, and I plan on being there at the end. I'm already doing the work. I've been doing this work for 15 plus years, but specifically over the last 3 years, at the same time that this council member has come on, I'm willing to match my body of work with hers as long as we're able to compare budgets, right, and access. And I'll put it up against her any day, any night. That's why we've had 3 candidate forums, and she's shown up to 0. And so she's hiding, right? She doesn't want to show herself to not only her opponents, but more importantly to her constituents. We can't get emails replied to. We can't get phone calls responded to. We're talking about public works and public safety, safe and clean streets. It's not that hard.
It truly is the basics of local government, and a lot of the people that we have in charge at the city level have a lot of higher and loftier ideas, that is for sure. Okay, here's what I'm going to do for you, Raul. I'm going to give you 60 seconds as we wrap up here. Make your pitch to the audience, make your pitch to the voters, why they should support you in the June primary.
If you want change, if you want a walkable, safe, and clean city, then go to raulclaros.com, donate $143 if you live in the city of LA. If you can't do that, donate $5. Anything helps. This will unlock matching funds. Your money will get multiplied 6 times. And that's how a grassroots candidate coming from the hardworking middle, where I have independents, Republicans, and Democrats all working together. Imagine that. For a safer and cleaner streets. Vote Raul Claros and go to raulclaros.com.
All right, last question before you go, Raul, and this is the most important question. If I am in your district, where am I going for dinner?
Depends on what part of the town, but Fu Chow in Chinatown is always one of my favorites. We're going to be getting some catering from them tomorrow, so you can't go wrong with Fu Chow in Chinatown.
Sounds great. The website is raulclaros.com, RaulClaros.com. You can check out his campaign, and I'm sure we'll talk soon before the June primary. Raul Claros, thank you so much for joining us today, and good luck in the race.
Thank you.
Thanks so much for joining us. There he is. That is someone who is running against Eunisses Hernandez.
How dare you?
We will do our part to invite the other candidates that are in this race, as well as the other races. There's like 9 people running for Curran Price's seat. But if you're attached to one of these campaigns and you want to have someone on and have a conversation about improving the city of Los Angeles, the county of Los Angeles, and the other 88 cities, Orange County, what have you, email us if you're connected to a campaign and you want to hear them on this show. RandyWangRadio@gmail.com. That's RandyWangRadio@gmail.com. It's the News Blitz with Randy Wang on Talk Radio 790 KABC. It's the News Blitz with Randy Wang on KABC. If you want to react to that interview, you want to react to the candidate that is running against Eunisses Hernandez, you heard his name, Raul Claros. He's promising to live in MacArthur Park until it's cleaned up if he's elected. What do you think about his campaign? If you live in that district, are you supporting him? Do you supporting somebody else? Or do you want 4 more years of Eunisses? Give us a call, 800-222-5222, 1-800-222-5222. If you're on hold, stay right there. We're getting right back to the phones. Next, it's the News Blitz with Randy Wang on KABC. It is the News Blitz with Randy Wang on Talk Radio 790 KABC. We're here every single day from 5 to 6 talking about the local issues that matter to you most and taking your phone calls at 800-222-5222. 1-800-222-5222. Your emails at randywangradio@gmail.com. That's randywangradio@gmail.com. You can also give me a follow on the socials at Randy Wang Radio, youtube.com/@RandyWangRadio, and search for the KABC News Blitz wherever you get your podcasts. We're taking your phone calls right now at 800-222-5222, 1-800-222-5222. We just interviewed a candidate for Council District 1 at the LA City Council, Eunisses Hernandez's seat. His name is Raul Claros, and he's promising to live in MacArthur Park if he gets elected. What say you? 800-222-5222. Thanks for holding, everybody. Let's start with Brent in LA. Brent, hello.
Merry Christmas and Happy Hanukkah, Randy.
Howdy, howdy. Happy Hanukkah to you.
Thank you. And I wanted to talk to Raul, who apparently has no desire to talk to LA citizens publicly. And I wanted to ask him, if he is elected, will he request President Trump to send the National Guard to liberate LA and to ask Pam Bondi and Dan Bongino to start indicting and prosecuting the felons at the city hall, our mayor and our city supervisors? And I'd like to ask all the people who you have on the same question. Are they going to actually do anything, or are they just going to stay in a cabin by the lake there? I mean, it's just stay in a van by the lake. That's kind of ridiculous.
Well, that's a really, really, really good point, because we have had so many corrupt members of the LA City Council. I wouldn't be surprised if several existing and obviously former members are under investigation right now. Thanks so much for the call, Brent. Appreciate it. Let's go to Paul in Burbank. Paul, hello.
Hey, Randy Wang. Look, I work with Citizens for Humane Los Angeles doing animal rescue and so forth. And first of all, if you work with the city, you know how literally incompetent it is and the ideas. It seems like these politicians all sign into the same playbook, right? They come in the office and they go, congratulations, here's your playbook, drugs for drug addicts. That program has been tried and failed. Why would you, like Canada, total flop with that program. Where is this coming from, Randy? Tell me how these people propagate these ideals. Bass goes to Cuba with Villagrosa to find out what the socialists are doing? Come on, Randy. Tell me where it's coming from.
There is an ideology, and unfortunately, it's getting more prominent every single day, that yes, it is not equitable and not fair to actually fix somebody's addiction. No, you have to meet them where they are. They have a disease, and the way to treat that disease is by giving them drugs or making it easier for them to do drugs. It's nonsense. It's insanity, but you'd be shocked how many voters in the city of Los Angeles buy into this.
We need to do a poll on why do people vote for the candidates. We need to understand why they do this. Why would you keep voting for people who have these ideals? Like, there's got to be some reason. Oh, they look nice. They're friendly. Never about efficacy. Never about how to, really what we need in the city. Would you agree?
I would agree, although I think it's easy for those extreme candidates to get forward because the vast majority of the vast majority of the voters in the city of Los Angeles, not true statewide, not even true countywide, but the city of LA, these local city council races, the turnout is so low that it is very easy for an extremist to get in there. And that's what happened in 2022.
Yeah, it seems to be happening in the last 20 years, to be honest with you. But listen, we get what we vote for. So this guy, Raul, sounds like a pretty sharp guy. I don't know what the other caller had a problem with him, but he seems like he wants to play ball and he wants to get his hands dirty and he sounds sensible. I wonder what your rest of your audience feels like, but I encourage everybody to please get out and vote. Go adopt an animal at the shelter. It's a crisis out there. We need people to get animals out, and I thank you for your time.
Well, thank you so much for calling in, and that's such an important message. Do your part, everybody. The crisis that doesn't get talked about enough in LA County and the city of Los Angeles is the fact that we do not invest nearly enough in our animal shelters, and that's something we should definitely be doing something about. I did my part. Thanks so much for the call. Appreciate it. Let's go to Marissa in LA. Marissa, hello.
Hi, I was just calling regarding the candidate for CD1. I wish you would have asked him about how he feels about illegal aliens that are in Los Angeles. He's one of the ones that was the main coordinator for the Dodgers, protests and for the ICE agents. And then also he's pro-illegal vendors in the Pico Union area. And he's also pro-Kilmer Garcia, which is MS-13. And he also called the Charlie Kirk death a distraction from the Trump administration. And he calls conservatives that we're all MAGA. So that person, he's not being transparent, even though he says it's for conservatives and also Democrats. But, there's other candidates. But in my opinion, he's just more the same, even though he has money. He used to work for Herb Weston. I believe he was a staffer. So he does have a lot of money and does a lot of stuff for the community. But, once you're in there, anybody could do that. So, again, he was doing all of those coordination for all these protests as well.
Well, I'll make sure the next time he's on the show, that'll be the first question that we ask him, Marissa. And any other candidates that you think are better than that, send them our way. Have them email us, and we'll get them on the show and get their message out as well.
Yes, absolutely. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thanks so much for everybody. I mean, look, I personally, I don't know if there is such a thing as anyone else being more of the same as a Eunisses Hernandez.
Quite frankly.
But you never know. Let's go to, Scott in Hollywood. Scott, how are you?
Hi, Randy. Good to hear your voice, and thanks for taking my call. Okay, I think one of the problems we have in this city is people hear the term DSA, and they hear the word Democratic, socialist, doesn't sound all that bad. But what people don't realize is that if a candidate is supported by the DSA, that candidate is completely in the pocket of the DSA. They're not listening to their constituents. Eunisses is a great example. I mean, people can't stand her. I don't think she has any support outside the DSA, which is very organized and somehow very well funded. We don't even know who these people are. There's no published membership list. What is published is the executive committee. But the executive committee consists of only first names and last name initials. These are the people that are controlling Eunisses, Hugo, Nithya, and Isabel, whatever, the other one.
Isabel.
Isabel. So these people are basically being told by the DSA what the vote should be on any given important subject. This is a far bigger problem than people think. They hear the word democratic, they hear the word socialism. Well, socialism isn't as bad as communism. These are communists. The recommended reading list on their website is the Communist Manifesto. Saul Alinsky, a new book called Abolish Rent. The autobiography of Angela Davis. The word democratic doesn't even show up on their website after you get to page 1. It's just socialism. They're hiding their true nature. And when people are clamoring against these people who are on city council, it's water off a duck's back. They're not listening. They know they're going to get the organization for the next election. And this is what Raul Claros is up against. I like him. The previous caller mentioned that he was, against certain things. I did not know that about him. I've met him a few times, and I speak to him fairly regularly. But basically, getting rid of Eunisses, he really is sincere about drug interdiction at MacArthur Park. I have no doubt about that.
And that, to me, is probably one of the most important issues that is facing that district. You bring up so many important concerns, Scott. Thank you so much for the call, as always. Appreciate it. If you're on hold, stay right there. We'll get to more of your phone calls. 800-222-5222. 1-800-222-5222. It's the News Blitz with Randy Wang on KABC. It's the News Blitz with Randy Wang on KABC. Let's get back to the phones, and let's start with Hector in Southgate. Hector, hello.
Yeah. Yes, thank you. No, I was just wondering, the guy talks good, but what is he going to do about all the illegals that are still there, destroying that area, the drug dealers, the homeless people? And the fire department also, I think it's department number 11, they're overwhelmed just with emergency calls yearly. It's in the thousands in emergency calls. Not to mention, God knows how many fires have been started in that area. Is he going to do anything about that?
That area does get a lot of fires. Those are great questions, and we'll make sure to ask more of those next time he comes on the show, as well as all the other candidates, because you're right. He has talked about public safety, but what about the immigration aspect? What about the fire department? Those are great questions. Thanks so much for the call. Appreciate it. We had someone call in once that talked about what the LAFD has to deal with at MacArthur Park, where they have to go revive somebody that overdosed and then leave them there, because that's the policy. Hey, look at this, everyone. 790 KABC has a great ticket for you. It's time to give away a Pink Floyd tribute by Which One's Pink at the Canyon in Agora Hills, January 31st. Tickets are on sale now at AXS.com, but right now, caller number 9 at 1-888-790-5222 gets a pair of tickets to the show. Tickets furnished by the Canyon, where music meets the soul. Good luck dialing. If you're on hold, stay right there. More of your calls coming up next. It's the News Blitz with Randy Wang on KABC. It's the News Blitz with Randy Wang on KABC. Let's get back to the phones as we're reacting to the candidacy of Raul Claros for LA City Council. Here's Morris in Panorama. Morris, hello.
Good afternoon. I'd like to see all candidates offer 100% money-back guarantee. If they don't keep their word as honored, because most of them don't, they'll run their mouth like Tom Steyer, and they're useless. I'd also like to see when you call the police and they refuse to come out on a service call because it's a low part of crime such as vandalism in your car, cities start paying each and every caller $100 for not coming out. Because it's all a bunch of baloney. Karen Bass, a few days ago, she's running for your election. What was her campaign speech? Oh, she doesn't like Donald Trump. Oh, she's taking care of the homeless people. What about the taxpayer that own a home and pay for all the social services? What happened? Our money goes for all the homeless, and Karen Bass running her mouth. She doesn't like Donald Trump. What is she good for? I'm sure she is a very nice lady, but she is not suited to be mayor of the city of Los Angeles. And there's not too many people that are suited. The city is run down. Why do we have all these vendors selling food on the street? Go to Beverly Hills, like in Rodeo Drive or Cannon Drive, and you don't have any street vendors selling on the street. What's going on? I mean, one problem after another, and these people are running for what purpose? I don't know why they're running, just to run them out. Let them give us all a money-back guarantee and quit. If they didn't accomplish what they said they were going to do, they just resign, walk away, and let them go to the unemployment line. I'm sick and tired of this baloney that's
love
going
that,
on
Morris.
out
Morris, that is fantastic. A money-back guarantee. If you don't accomplish the things you promise, you give that $220,000 a year back. That is a great idea. I
Ask all the
love
candidates that.
There we go. Thanks so much for the call, Morris. Appreciate it. I am happy to interview every person running for that seat as well as all the other seats. So again, let me put this out to you. If you're connected to a campaign, you're one of these grassroots people trying to get a normal person elected for office, I'd love to hear from you. I'd love to hear from them. They can reach out to us by going to our Gmail, randywangradio@gmail.com. That's randywangradio@gmail.com. And we'll connect you with Trisha. We'll get you booked on the show and we'll hear what you have to say. I would love to talk to more real, normal people running for office, regardless of party, because this is a nonpartisan seat. This is supposed to be the basics of government. So that's my hope. And we'll continue to have those conversations all the way through 2026. Thank you all so much for being a part of this show. Really appreciate the phone calls today and the emails. If you got a second, check out my YouTube channel, youtube.com/@RandyWangRadio. I just posted my wine tasting experience at Fiddlehead Cellars at their new barn in Lompoc, and there was a very interesting animal surprise. So check it out. It's the News Blitz with Randy Wang on KABC.